I'm getting nervous.
It's all good, bro. Jeez, just gonna combo.
I feel like this is interrogation.
I'm nervous.
Got a motherfucker in the corner, man. You know, the lights on.
This is the Free 99 podcast. Be sure to follow us on SoundCloud, iTunes, YouTube, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Twitch, Instagram. Search FREE99 podcast. Shout out to all the sponsors. Shout out to all the listeners. JD Fresh in the building.
Yo, it's good to be back, brothers.
JD Fresh. Shout out to the boy Lloyd. This is episode 232 of the Free 99 podcast. I am the good homie Gus, aka Customer Service. And what makes this different for me today is I'm able to sit across from someone that I've seen work and I admire for a long time. Like over 20 years, I've seen this individual put in work in the streets in San Francisco, and I've seen it bleed out to other cities, other countries. And I'm very humble to introduce Mr. Rudy Corpuz Jr. in the Free 99 podcast. United Playaz.
Yeah, always love, y'all. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, King.
I'm honored. I'm humble.
And it's funny because the date today, as we're recording, is October 4th, 2024. What is significant about October 8th, 1994 for you?
So October 8th, 1994.
Almost 29 years to the day.
It'd be 30 years.
It'd be 30. Okay, you're right. No, you're right. That's exactly. 30 years to the
I've
day.
been counting the years. I'm living it. You know what I mean? And I feel like, it was just yesterday. So it was the birth of United Playaz.
Come on.
The mighty United Playaz.
Come on.
And so coming up in a couple of days will be our 30th year anniversary, y'all. Yeah. Praise God.
Praise God.
Good.
God is good.
God is good.
That was also the big brawl that happened at Balboa.
That's right.
High School, right? Like, was it after a dance?
Yeah. So what transpired was it was a party that was given at the school.
Okay.
And in the party, two groups of guys from different neighborhoods, it was black on black originally, got into a fight over a girl.
Okay.
They took it outside. And when they took the fight outside, you know how people about to fight, everybody crowds around. So it was so many people trying to watch the fight that was about to go down. People started standing on people's cars. When they were standing on cars, they started standing on these dudes' cars who was standing. It was Filipino dudes. So the black dudes were standing on the Filipino dudes' cars. Filipino dudes was, hey man, get off my whip. Because, they trying to watch the fight. And the dudes who was on the car, man, fuck you. And so the Filipino dude, and this is all knowledge that I gathered throughout the years and some recent, was like, man, all right. So he told one of the homies, hey man, this dude want to get off my car. The dude he told to this day is my good friend. He's a Samoan. I thought he was Filipino all this time. He from LA. You know what I mean? He's a actual real live Crip that came from LA that moved out to San Francisco, was going to school. Wow. And so there was Samoan dude didn't hesitate. He just grabbed a dude, his legs, yanked him off the car, and bow, took off. And that's how the big fight ensued. October the 8th, 1994.
A melee.
And then the brawl broke. So instead of the blacks fighting the blacks, the tables turned where the blacks who was funking with each other came together and started fighting the Filipinos. And most of those Filipinos who were there were RPB cats, right? And a gang of other Filipinos and some Samoan dudes that was there outside of Balboa High School with a big fight ensued. And then it went all the way up to Onondaga. You know how fights just move?
Yeah.
And it was getting off. And it was the big melee with the police. All kind of ambulance came because there was a lot of people who got hurt. That was the birth.
That got a lot of press. Like, if you was, especially here in the city, like, news travels fast because that was one of the biggest, like, and it was a racial fight. Like,
that's right.
The way they titled it, the way they encompassed it, it was a race war. You know what I mean? Like, you can still bring up, like, you can still Google it and you can find it.
Oh, you seen it, huh?
Yeah. And I had to put a little research, but a good thing I had those dates. But it was so intense because, like, it became, like, I'm from the Excelsior. You know what I mean? So, like, when I heard there was race wars, like random Filipinos getting jumped, random black fools getting jumped, who weren't even involved.
That's what transpired after that big fight. You know, Balboa was known already.
Before the gates. Before the gates.
Before that even cracked, there was already a lot of violence going on in that bout.
Yeah.
The principal at the time, her name was Miss Monteversion. She was Filipino, right? And so she was trying to find solutions to help out the people on the campus, but primarily the Filipinos, because she was Filipino. And so a lot of people who wasn't even in the actual fight was getting jumped because they was just Filipino because of the fight.
Yeah.
So Filipinos, we gonna retaliate. People who was black that wasn't even in a fight, they was getting jumped also. And so nobody was learning. Now you had a school where people are supposed to get educated and learn, but they're not learning. They're just worried about safety. And so, boom, here I come, right? I got hired as a gang prevention counselor at a community-based organization in District 11. See, Frisco has its 11 districts.
Okay.
Right? Excelsior, Balboa area, Lake, that's all considered District 11.
Okay.
Right? They have a supervisor for each district. Right? And so, in that district, Bernal Heights was in.
Yeah.
I got hired. And so, naturally, my job was to go find Filipino gang members. I'm Filipino. I gang banged. I'm active. I know where they're all at.
Yeah.
So it was not hard to find. And so when I left Bernal to go to Bow, right, I got on the 14 mission, went straight up, got off over there, man, Onondaga, went to Bow, and hell, sure enough, everybody's there. That's
It
where
was active. Bow was different.
It was lit. Bow was lit. Like the movies you seen, like Lean On Me and other school, that's exactly how it was. The students ran that shit. The administration up there was scared. Even the administration, that some of them that was there was off the hook.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You almost had to be.
And you was a kid going to school, either you was going to be victimized or you was going to join something. Whether it's a sports team or whether it was a gang or a turf or something. You had to belong to something, because if you was walking by yourself up there,
Curtains.
You be victimized, bro. And that's a known fact.
Curtains.
You know what I mean?
And you brought all these kids together.
So I'm not gonna take all the credit, bro.
Okay.
There was other people on the campus. There was a dude who was a security guard. His name was Leyte. Everybody knows Leyte. Big ass Samoan.
Yeah.
He's probably around 6'4", 6'5", and he was huge. He don't knock people out. He slapped people out. He was so bad. And he was a friend of mine from the streets back in the days. Because I had a life before I became a gang prevention counselor, right? And so, he was one of the guys on the table, right, on the chessboard.
Okay.
Then you had another dude. His name was Andre Alexander, who was the football coach.
He was
knew
also
all the blacks.
he also went to
staff.
Bal.
These are staff.
Yeah, he also went to Bal, and he played for the Calgary Stampede.
Come on, man.
And he played for that's a Canadian football league.
Man, you did your homework.
And he was the New York and New Jersey Knights for the World League American. He also went
all this shit.
He also went to Fresno State. So he is a Bal guy that went back to Bal to coach.
100.
Yeah.
Shouts out to Leyte. Shouts out, man, to Andre Alexander. And then there was other guys on the campus, right, who had credibility that knew the kids. Because I was able to get to the Filipinos. Right?
Yeah.
But then, the black, they was like, I'm from Frisco. We all mix. It doesn't matter. We all know each other. You know what I mean? And so when I seen the black, they was kind of reluctant. But then I had got with Andre. I said, Andre, you know a lot of these young brothers right here. Get them to the table because nobody's learning. And he knew a lot of them because a lot of the guys who were in the fights were on the football team. And then you had other dudes who knew the basketball players on the team, right? His name was Dream. So he got them, and then so when we started getting together, they was willing to sit down. The principal, she's like, you Filipino, all right, shit, we need whatever you can do to help. I don't care. And you imagine, I'm an ex-felon coming to the school campus. I'm not from the school. They're not paying me. I was just an outside agency, a CBO, coming to the school. So they said, come on in, whatever you can do, because we need help. And then God activated me. I was able to get the Filipinos. Dre and them got the blacks. We sat in the room. We was able to get Samoans. We was able to get the Latinos. And now you had everybody at the table. You had all the chess pieces on the table, and the question was asked, what do you guys want to do to end the violence on school campus? Because they was all with it.
There was no authority figure besides
No
y'all and the
administration.
kids.
No police. They all got out the room.
Yeah.
The kids wasn't. They was like, man, I ain't talking if they up in here. One of the police had to go all the way to the dude's house to come pick him up because he was expelled from the fight.
Wow.
So they went and go get the youngster and brought him back. He was from Hunters Point. They drove, got him, brought him to the school because he was a major force on the school. They listened to him. Right? Shout out to my guy, Jamie Bodie.
Shout out.
Yeah, it's my homie. And so now we're all in the room, and the question was asked, what do you guys want to do to end and stop the violence? Do you guys want to stop it? And, everybody just sitting there. And I said, okay, how did the fight even start? So they started talking. It was over a girl. You go back.
80% of the time,
who's the girl? We found out who the girl, and I ain't trying to disrespect the girl. They was like, damn, her? You motherfuckers trying to kill over her? Come on, man. Y'all finna go to prison. Y'all gonna die. Come on, y'all. Right. And everybody kind of made everybody feel comfortable. They started laughing.
Broke the ice a little bit.
Yeah. And it was like, well, then somebody, ain't nothing happening up here on school campus. I said, well, what do y'all want to happen? And the youth came up with all the answers. We need football tournaments, Root. We need talent shows. We want basketball games. Let us play each other. I said, I help you do it, but y'all got to help me organize it. So they became organizers. And what I did is I didn't put all the Filipinos against the blacks or the blacks against the Latino. I mixed them up. So now you had a Filipino, a black, a Latino, and a Samoan on one team against somebody who was black, Latino, Filipino, Samoan too.
Straight gridiron gang.
You dig what I'm saying?
Yeah, straight gridiron.
And that shit worked.
Yeah.
And I know that from my past. When we have history, right, of learning how to sit down. When there's wars, you got to sit down as men and work it out. We might pull out a blunt, like, smoke that shit first, like the peace pipe, because the natives was doing it before we did.
Yep.
They get the peace pipe, hit that shit, and nobody don't want to fight no more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Then they get on, if they drink that fire water, though, everybody want to fight. But so they sat down, and the kids like, all right, and they started helping me organize tournaments. And I'm going to tell you, the backbone to the movement was the women. There were women who were from different programs on campus.
Okay.
That was involved in organizing with us, students. Our first president, because they said, well, we need to make like a team where we got sergeants and a president. I was like, cool. I know that from being incarcerated. But they was willing to use the same formula. And okay, well, we got to nominate who's going to be who. And the girl, her name was Vellie Williams, Samoan girl, got chose to be the first president of our club at United Playaz. And she ran that shit, man, like a great leader. To this day, she's in New York right now, doing big things, helping people out.
How the name start?
So all in the same tone. We would meet every Wednesday, right? Everybody would come, all the thugs in the room. I had pizza. They had that pizza, North Beach Pizza from up the block.
Shout to North Beach Pizza,
You know what I
right?
mean?
Russian ambition,
I couldn't get that weak shit. They wouldn't show up. I had to get the North Beach.
You know it.
You know what I mean? They coming, they got pizza up in there. Rude, you can smell it coming down the hall. And so when they would come up in there, and then once we started getting it going, they was like, well, we should have a name for our club. I said, all right. I gave the power to the people again. What do y'all want to name the club? 94, back then. Get Low Players. Right? JT, the bigger figure. Queen. All them cats. Forte in a Players Club.
Come on.
Playaz.
Real Frisco shit.
Real Frisco shit. 94. Listen to it.
Yeah.
And so, put up the word United. And I said, man, we on some player shit. I put players. Because they had all kind of different shit at first. But we put United, player. Everybody looking at that shit. And that was it. It hit. UP. Everything goes up. All the way to God. 30 years later, right now, man, we worldwide, baby. We owning land. We touching, man, different dimensions. We damn near in every school where there's elementary school kids. And we damn near in every prison, homie. From the elementaries to the penitentiaries for real. Real killers on the payroll.
The real killers on payroll. The slogan before was all players.
Straight players, not no haters.
Yes.
That came from the kids.
If that's an original shirt, if you have one of them, that's an
Straight
original
players,
shirt.
not no haters. I swear to God, and man, I'm getting goosebumps as I say it. I remember the kid who actually even drew it up. His name was Elasa, Samoan kid. May he rest in peace.
R.I.P.
Right? Straight players, not no haters. And that stuck on a black shirt with white letters and bold. And then at the bottom, they put Bernal Heights Neighborhood Center, because that was the organization, the see I was working for. And see, I didn't understand the game at that time, what that usually meant. That was them putting a title to let me know they was pimping my shit. You get what I'm saying?
So Bernal, so the District 11 then, right?
District 11.
So
Bernal
District
Heights.
11 was utilized you and you created all these programs, and then eventually you made your way to Soma.
That's right. So just to kind of rewind, right? As I'm doing this, we're a club now. We're not thinking about funding. We're not thinking about the city government. We just thinking about saving lives.
People.
We kept it, man, to the trenches, the roots.
Yeah.
Right? The last, the lost, and the least. That's who we dealt with. And as time would go on, I remember I would go back to my boss and say, hey, we need to get some stuff for these kids. And it was like pulling teeth. And I didn't understand that aspect of the game. Because what they would do, they would write about United Playaz from their organization, and they would put grants, and they would get probably $150,000, but then we'll only get...
The district will get the grant, but United Playaz will
not
receive...
the district, the organization.
Organization,
Yeah,
okay.
the nonprofit organization will write about UP, they put us in, their newspaper, and I didn't know, I'm being pimped.
Yeah.
Like a pimp tell a hoe, boom, do this, go out there and do all that, and we just give us the money. But I didn't even trizip off the money. I was just worried about helping the people.
Yeah.
Right.
But I started noticing, damn, they getting all this money. We got to go through hell to get some damn shirts or to get some pizza. Because I was coming out of my pocket. I was still hustling in 94. I didn't put the game to sleep yet.
That was just a day job.
Yeah, Dr. Jekyll in the morning, Mr. Rob your ass at night. Shit. You remember, man, I'm a Soma boy.
Yeah,
I would be in District 11, putting in work in the positive light, and at 5, whenever I leave, I get back to the turf, man, 536, and then I'm back in the South of Market Tenderloin area, and it's on and popping.
Pull up in the Jeep.
You motherfucking right. The Suzuki Samurai with the Phantom top, the 18-inch speakers. That was me with the raccoon hat, with a pistol, too, matter of fact. Yeah, in the South of Market. You remember that shit?
Come on.
That was
I spent
me.
a lot of time the Toma, like
Hey, Kobe, he really know. Yeah, on my mama. That was me.
2-line fried rice. Come on, shrimp fried rice.
I went there the other day. 2-line. Yeah, I pulled up over there, brought the homies.
I remember just going back and forth. Your dad's a surfaceman.
That's right. He was in the Army.
He was in the
Master
Army.
Sergeant.
But was he in the part of the Bataan Death March?
Yes, he. To be honest, I don't know if he was. I don't know if he was.
You don't know if he was. Okay.
Yeah.
But you were born in Frisco.
Born and raised. So the hospital I was born was Letterman's Hospital.
Letterman, that's what it is.
Letterman's Hospital is in Presidio.
Fort Mason, right?
Presidio. Yeah,
Presidio,
Fort
okay.
Mason.
Yeah.
It's a Army base. They used to have like a store over there, the annex. They had everything they had for the service people over there.
Yeah.
And so I was one of the last that was born, right?
Last of 9.
I'm the youngest out of 9. I'm the baby. I'm a junior. My father's name is Rudy. I'm Rudy too. Yeah. But I'm the junior. And my son is the third.
Shout out.
Yeah.
You were
I
born
hope he
in
don't
Frisco.
make me a baby and be the fourth. Shit. My other son did that.
Born in Frisco.
I'm first generation.
Your family first lived in Boston.
So when my family, so this is the
Migrated from the
history I got.
Philippines.
When they came from the Philippines, I don't know if it's in this order because I wasn't born.
Okay.
So they first came, and this is what my understanding, went to Boston.
Okay.
They moved to Boston. They was out there, and then they moved to like San Pedro or L.A., right? That way. And then they came to San Francisco. When we first moved to San Francisco, we stayed off of 3rd Street
Yeah. Double Rock, right?
area.
Yeah.
We was in Hunters Point, 3rd Street, something like that, South of Market, or South Park area.
Okay.
And then they moved to Soma, the South of Market on 9th Street. And that's where I was born. I was born in the 70s.
You still out there.
And still there. 3 blocks away from where I grew up in that house. So my mom's house was on 9th and Howard.
Okay.
I'm right now on Minna, off of 6th and Minna. So it's only 3 blocks away.
Seattle though, too though. Your family.
So my father's brother, he was a Navy guy.
Okay.
And he moved to Seattle. And so I was never born out there. I just knew that my family's there, but I went there when I was older to go visit.
As far as the foundation, as far as like them really setting up housing, when you were born, it was all in Frisco.
Always in San Francisco.
Always in San Francisco.
Always. That's where my heart is at. It's still there.
How old were you when you were rapping on home turf?
Oh, you remember that?
Yeah.
Come on.
I was probably around 17 years old, bro.
Wildin'.
Yeah. You see me, I had my gazelles on.
Yes.
Yeah. I looked at real thin.
Yeah.
I was running the streets. Yeah, I was around 18 years old.
So, and that was like the 80s, right?
That was the late 80s.
Late 80s.
Late 80s, right before I went to jail.
People don't understand, like, it was tough to be a Filipino out here from when we first had, like, the hotel, the IO hotel up until now. Like, people being displaced, and Filipinos really had to go get it out there.
Yeah, we natural born hustlers, man.
Come on.
You already know.
Yeah.
It's in our DNA.
Come on.
You know, all the way, man, from our elders, you know, my noms, who been hustling way back when they was in the fields. You know what I mean? Ain't nobody was doing that shit.
And out here, there's something I recall you saying, 3 M's.
Yeah.
What's the 3 M's for you, for the dudes and for the ladies?
So the 3 M's was straight money, mac, and murder.
Money, macking, and murder.
Yeah, and for the females, it was the movies, McDonald's, and a motel. Straight up and down.
Yeah.
That's the way he was getting it.
Yeah, that's it, and
That's my mindset.
yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I mean?
As a young hustler,
As a young hustler coming up in the South of Market Tenderloin area, right? You had to grow up fast.
yeah,
You know what I mean? You was not even on the porch. I was on the street.
yeah.
You weren't even on the curb. You was on the street.
It's crazy.
Walking up and down Market Street.
It's
at
crazy
10
when
years old.
the white cops speak Tagalog,
Yeah, and they was dangerous.
Yeah.
Some of the worst ones were the Filipino ones.
because they always try to prove something.
That's right.
Like
And-
they're not on our side anymore.
Well, they had to prove to the white man
Yes.
that they was somebody. And now that I'm older, I understand where they come from. You know, I wouldn't do it to my people, but I understand it now. I'm more wiser, and I have more of an understanding of why people do what they do now.
You understand the why, but you don't understand. You understand why they did it. You don't understand why they did it that way.
Right. Until I'm older now, then you start seeing, you know what I mean? People was trying to prove themselves because, you know, the struggles that we come from.
It's a constant game of chess out there.
Straight up, man. You know, infiltrate but don't assimilate.
Yeah, that's right.
Art of war, baby.
Yeah.
So from Bernal Heights, you moved back to Soma in 05.
Yeah, and
United Playaz.
so I live in the South of Market, but I
Yep.
used to go to work there. And the way I even got the job there was when I caught my last case. Well, I mean, before my last case was probably in 97.
Okay.
Right? When I got busted in 88, I was fucking up. I got busted. I was selling dope. You know what I mean? And so there was a Filipino dude who I grew up in a center in our neighborhood on 8th and Atoma called Canning Kip. You remember Canning
Yeah,
Kip, bro?
yeah.
Where all the kids would go to. And West Bay was down the block.
Yep.
But I was one of the kids at Canning Kip. Canning Kip was mixed, right? West Bay was just Filipinos.
Yeah.
So when I'm there was a dude named Dennis Ubongan. He used to always help me out when I was a kid. So as I grew up and I caught cases, he would tell me, hey, man, I could help you out to get into City College. And I'm like, what's that, City College? He said, college. I'm like, that's foreign to me. He said, there's a program there called EOPS, Extended Opportunity Program Services, the best kept quiet secret. He said, we'll get you jobs. We'll get you to pay for tuition. You get free books. All you got to do is come up here, man, and learn, Rudy. So I took the opportunity to go up there and look. And I was like, shit, I think I'd rather be around all these women. Shit. You know what I mean? Instead of being around 5,000 men, I'd rather be around 5,000 women.
Math is mathing right now.
And it was a gold mine to sell dope. I was pulling my Suzuki Samurai. And so I said, yeah, y'all pay me to come here. And so when I was there at the EOPS program, that's what led me to find a job for Bernal Heights. And so when I was up in District 11, over there I would go home to 5. But then when I would go visit kids at juvenile hall, there was hella kids from my neighborhood who would be incarcerated at YGC and would say, "Oh, Rudy, man, they're behind in the units. You don't come help us over here. You helping everybody in that neighborhood. What about us?"
That hurt.
And I was like, "Damn, they right. It's right in my backyard."
You know this. You know this.
Because I was I'm a part of it.
Yeah, yeah.
And, I didn't want them to see me, fucking up when I'm over here until I'm back to my neighborhood.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I done got shot in front of my house on 9th Street. You know what I mean? Been through all kind of bullshit. So, I didn't want to take, how they say you don't shit where you eat? Older brothers used to say it to me all the time. I didn't know what they meant until it started really happening. And so, 2005, I said, you know what? I'm going to take what I learned from Bernal and I'm going to go take it to my neighborhood I'm born and raised where there's a need. And so I talked to my boss, may he rest in peace, Mauricio Vela. And I found out he went to prison and he was locked up for manslaughter also.
Wow.
I didn't know that. That's why he took the chance on me, bro.
Has he seen
As
it
an
in you?
ex-felon who came seeing, he asked me 2 questions. I swear to God, sitting like this. It was me, him, and a lady named Joy Ferguson. He said, you ever been locked up? I said, hey, that question again. When you say you're a felon, nobody hires you. They'll say they will, they just throw your shit on the table. So I told him the truth. I said, yeah, I have. He said, cool. He said, you speak Filipino? I lied. I said, yep. But I didn't know how.
Enough.
I hope he won't ask me nothing. So he said, you're hired. Go find all the Filipino gang members. And that's like I told you the story.
Yeah.
While I'm up there. And so 2005, I already had my army. I seen all the connections they had. You know what I mean? He was introducing me to Gavin Newsom, Mayor Brown, all them, Kamala Harris. I met all them during this duration. I'm in that field. And so I took the game and the wisdom he gave me, and I started in my neighborhood. And I started with 0. Because he told me like a pimp tell a hoe, you could take the name, but you can't take none of our funding. I was like, cool. So I took the name United Playaz that was created by the people, took it to my neighborhood, and started building a foundation right there.
And you didn't have a home yet, though.
Nope.
You were running out of a rec center, right?
Rec center on 6th and Folsom.
6th, right? Yeah, that's right.
Remember that, Kobe?
Yeah.
Shout out to
6th
Kobe.
and Folsom.
Yeah, shout out Kobe.
Kobe, yeah, in the house, in the building. And we would be there, and I asked Park and Rec, do you mind if I run our program here and get an MOU with Park and Rec?
What does that mean?
A memorandum of understanding that we would be there under your umbrella as long as we could utilize the space. And it was like, cool. You from the neighborhood, you got the kids in the neighborhood, go ahead. And so we would be up in there, and then we started growing. And once they seen us growing and seen all the kids come in, then they said that question.
They had to charge you.
That's right. And they said, well, y'all being here, y'all coming here every day. Now we have to charge you this much. And we're like, wait a minute. Charge us? Thought this was community, homie. How much? Boom. I said, we can't afford that. They said, if you don't give us this much money, by this time, y'all got to be out of the rec. I swear to God.
What year was this?
That was probably 2007.
So that's 2 years in, and they seen the growth.
And I don't know if I'm accurate, but I know it's around this time.
Yeah.
You dig what I'm
Late
saying?
2000s.
Around that
Late
time.
2000s.
And so, and I got it on video. We couldn't pay because we didn't have no funding at the time. We was just operating, man, off what we knew. I didn't have $1 at the time. I had a team where I was getting people who knew how to write.
Grant writers.
A grant writer. They know how to speak the language. And I was getting people from my neighborhood, the kids who were young, who would want to help me to, stop the violence in the neighborhood. And so the rec people told us, you can't come in this day, this time, if you don't pay. And they meant business. Because when we all came, guess who they had at the door? And it was chained up. The sheriffs. It was raining, bro. And all the kids from Bessie Carmichael in our program, we marched there, could not get in. And it was raining. We're all standing outside. And we got on a bullhorn and we're from this neighborhood. I swear to God. Somebody videotaped and they put it on YouTube. It's on there. I seen it. I'm speaking. Some of my staff, the kids are out there. It's raining. And we couldn't get in our own Park and Rec neighborhood gym that we all grew up in.
And roughly around like '09, after working with some incredible grant writers, some accountant, and your staff, your loyal staff, you're able to move to 1038 Howard Street.
So this would transpire. When that happened, I was so devastated and hurt, right, Gus, on everything, bro. I started praying. You know what I mean? And I fasted. I fasted and I told God, I said, look, God, we need a home for the kids. I want to commit and dedicate myself to you. This is who I've always been doing this for, because you gave me the vision. And I promised myself, God, let me sacrifice myself. And I swear to God, man, I put this on my mama grave. I used to be at meetings, and while everybody's talking, I used to draw pictures of what the building would look like that I wanted to move in.
Manifesting.
I would draw it, and I swear to God, if you see the pictures, it's 1038 Howard Street, bro. If you look at 1038 Howard Street, bro, right? Let me show you something. That's what OGs have, hella shit in their wallet now.
Yeah.
Now you got an ID card, and I didn't realize this till later, bro. You know, you got a number on your card.
Yeah.
Look at the last 4 numbers on my card.
Look at God. Look at God.
Look at the last.
Look at God.
1038.
It was already ordained, pimping.
It was in you.
Man, God is so good, bro. All that time I was fasting, bro, and I was asking God, please, for the kids, we gotta have a building. We can't be in the rain. We need to be somewhere. And I used to draw pictures, and sure enough, we was blessed. And that man who called me right there, Rourke, the guy who just called me, gave me the fish, was one of the guys who helped us get the building. Hallelujah. How's that work? And I ain't talked to him in months.
Look at that.
And he's bringing me fish. Man cannot live on bread alone.
Come
you
on.
gotta eat with fish.
Yeah.
He bringing me fish. I swear to God, that's the guy. He's
And
a realtor.
United Playaz bought that land.
We ended up purchasing, so we moved in 2008, 2009.
Okay.
2015, I was able to buy the building.
How many millions was that?
I think at the time what we purchased the building was 1.8 million, I believe.
1.8 million.
It was 1.8 million. You remember, we didn't have nothing. We didn't have Nathan.
No. Nathaniel.
Nathaniel with a capital N. And I would go back to the relationships that I had previously that Mauricio Vela introduced me to. Because he used to bring me as his cash cow to these meetings. And he would sit me down and I would spit that yabba dabba. And it was true. And the motherfucking newspaper and all them would be there, and the mayors and them would be there. And that's how I met, man, Gavin Newt. To this day, me and Gavin tight. To this day, me and Willie Brown that's my partner. Kamala Harris invited me to the White House. You believe me? In the White House? A guy from the Soma?
Come on.
From the gutter? In the White House? Kicking on me with my suit. I'm like, damn, this motherfucker for real. See, this hella white.
Come on.
Amen.
In there for our people, representing for the have-nots.
Yes. Come on, Rudy. They don't know.
And I'm going to be honest, man. They brought me up there for a gun violence event where Joe Biden was signing in assault rifles, taking them down. See, you got to understand, I'm not against the Second Amendment. Never have and never will, because you got the right to bear arms and to protect your family and yourself and your kids by all means necessary. Because I live in a real world like all of us.
Amen.
But I'm against senseless gun violence. And so I stand on that. You dig what I'm saying? I know what it feels like to be on both sides of the gun. I know what it feels like to have bullets pushed in your motherfucking body and to put bullets in people. You understand what I'm saying? I got traumatic, post-traumatic, present traumatic stress disorder over this. And so I'm up in the White House. They invited me to come up there, right? I'm a lady from Moms Demand Action, people who lost their kids. And I'm sitting there and there's over 800 people there. And he's signing in. And after they was finished speaking, him and Kamala, everybody's trying to rush to him, to get their autograph, take a picture. I wanted to too. So I'm gonna shake the president's hand, and I'm trying to get there. But I couldn't because there was so many people trying to get to him. And the mamas are all there with their pictures of their kids. Just show my kid. All the kids from Columbine, their families. The people from Sandy Hook. Look at the mama gave me this from Sandy Hook. right? It happens in December. So I'm in the back. I said, I'm just going to fall back. Because, you know, the mamas. And all of a sudden, a dude in a suit with some dark-ass glasses of mine comes and says, excuse me, are you Rudy? I was like, oh, shit, what I do? Because earlier that day, I put some Henny in my cup, poured that shit on the grass. For the homies who ain't here no more.
Yep.
You dig what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so I'm thinking, oh, shit, they didn't saw me. Dude said, you Rudy? I said, yeah. Rudy Corpuz? Yeah. I was like, what's up? Follow me. Who's with you? I said, this lady right here, Mountain Man Action Lane. Where we going? Follow me. They push up the rope. They gave me a straight beeline to the president and Kamala Harris, bro. I'm like, what the fuck? Everybody's looking now, Autumn 800. Who is this dude? You imagine out of everybody? And this is on a true story, bro. And I'm right now with them, and they say, and they Kamala says, what's up, Rudy? I'm glad you made it in here. So I got to take my little picture with her, say what's up to them, because they knew I stand on business, bro. And so.
That's crazy.
But that's what God does. He was letting me know he's real, homie. That he's for real. Like, look, I'm going to use you, player. And I'm going to unite you with the real players in real life. And so, check it out. Watch, I'm going to pour it out. Lemonade.
That's when you poured it out right there?
Yeah, look, I poured this shit out.
And his phone stayed buzzing this whole podcast.
Oh,
My man's phone is not turned off.
That's Trump. He got to wait. Look, I poured it out. I ain't bullshit. Look.
Sure did. That's a barong you're wearing, isn't it?
No.
It's not? I thought it was a barong.
See, and then look, then I got to get with Joe.
Jeez.
And then got with, I'm telling you, man, this shit was real, man. What I'm telling is based on a true story. And what I'm saying is, you imagine me, little old me, Filipino cat from the South of Market, stood way in the back, and they come grab me all the way, push me past all these people. And then it's that dude who sings the song. What's that song?
Oh, yeah. Oh, I forgot.
You know who he is. He's the
Damn, what's his name?
You know
I'm
it.
drawing a blank. I'm drawing a blank.
You know who that is, huh?
I mean,
Look.
That look like Jason Momoa in the sense of that's not Jason
he
Momoa.
looks so familiar, though.
He's a real big time singer. I forgot his name. This is Nancy who helped me get the new building,
Real Frisco.
right?
The new we'd even get to that. Right. We'd even get to that. Like I recall an interview when you were just hoping to get 2 more floors.
That's right.
You were just you were praying on additional floors, and I think this was also right around the time where you were helping Filipinos who were being removed from their housing, and you helped house them, and I think you were hoping like we're looking to get more floors added to what we got, and then you ended up getting damn near the block.
We got, and I'm so see. To me, things are built on relationships.
Yes.
There's rules in the game that I learned. Right. One is time management. Right. 2 is prioritizing, and then networking. And beyond all that, man, keep God first, bro. Those are steps that you put, man, in that order for you to be successful.
It's chess, not checkers out here.
Yeah, believe that, man. It always has been, you know. And so in order for you, man, to infiltrate and not assimilate in the game, you to come up in a city where it's scheming, right? You got to know how to move on that chessboard. You dig what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so how do a brother like me get all these people together from different dimensions? Right? I'm talking about one of the most known gangsters in Frisco, to bring in somebody on that level, and then to bring in the president or the vice president, and we all be in the same room and everybody kicking it. You know what I mean? Or just a regular old homie, man, from the block.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Still struggling, man, to pay his phone bill. And then you got somebody on this side, man, who's a big developer, owns these buildings, all in the same room, at the same table, working together.
And you figured out how working with these developers that there's a pot they got to put in when they build in the city.
It's called the stabilization fund.
Stabilization.
And then and a lot of people fought for that beyond me. It wasn't even me. I just was a part of it. and got. So the stabilization fund consists of buildings that are being built in our neighborhood. South of
Chris
Market.
Daly was a supervisor.
That's right. He was the one who kicked it off, and he told all these developers, if you're gonna build in District 6, just the south of Market, you got to kick into this pot, and the money that goes into this pot goes to the people of this neighborhood. And then the mayor and other district supervisors was fighting him, said, no, the money you get over here should go to all of us. He said, no, it goes to this neighborhood because you're in the neighborhood. Mm-hmm. And so he asked me to stand on business with him and fight. And I said, hell yeah, the money should go to our people. And it passed. And so it's called a stabilization fund. It's a pot of money just for District 6 folks when they have things that they wanted to go to. And it's funny you said, the lady who just got hired to run it, she came by center today. She got hired today. Yeah, for real. She came by today and said, hey, I just want to let you know I got hired for this position, and I want to talk to you guys because you're from the neighborhood. You're born and raised in the neighborhood. I want to know what the people want. I said, shit, that's easy. I know what we want. I live here. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? You can't be from not my neighborhood and tell us what we want. Yeah. And I would tell our developers and all these people, some of them Filipinos too, you can't tell me what I want. I know what we want. I'm here with the people. And they wouldn't understand it. You just a thug. Shit. It don't matter what you is. I know what we need. I'm right here, right now. Mm-hmm. And so I'm very comfortable sitting at any table with anywhere, anybody, as long as I know I'm fighting for a cause that's going to benefit for our people. You dig what I'm saying? And who are the people? The last, the lost, and the least. Period. Because I'm one of them. I come from that trenches.
Just rewinding a little bit. Like I just want to.
We went everywhere.
Yeah. Just rewind it a little bit. I wanna share with people when I first met Rudy. I didn't even really get to meet him. I heard the name. I was interning at 106 KMEL. He Chewy was the morning show host. It was Chewy and Kimmy. And then I go inside there, check in with them before we go hit the streets, and then I see tucked in the corner is this dude wrapped in his hoodie, and I was like, "Who's that right there?" Because granted, it was in the morning time, so it was like 6 a.m. And then I seen this dude tucked in the corner. He was like, 2001. And he's just in the corner over there. And then Chewy's like, hey, fall back and chill for a minute. And then he goes live. He goes to you. And then you wake up. It was like a snap of a finger. And you was alive just like you're alive today. But you were literally sleeping 2 minutes ago in the corner. And then I stayed for the interview. And then when you left, I was like, who's that? He goes, that's Rudy of UP. And I was like, 6th Street? He was like, yeah. I know you say you're from 9th, but 6th Street is where I've always seen you hanging around as far as like me seeing you. And then, so I was like, oh yeah, that's Rudy. You know what I mean? Because that's where I spend a lot of time. And then UP, I seen the logo and I was like, that's United Playaz. That's United Playaz. Because like I said, I grew up in Excelsior taking the 14 mission. Like I would see the shirts, but I would never put the two and two together that it was a community. Right. It was, yeah, and when I seen that and I got to know you, and then working alongside with you with going to San Quentin. Right. Going and with Tone, shout out to Tone Deaf, and then doing these freedom trains. And then the marches from going the marches going to Bill Graham.
That's right, Martin Luther King.
For MLK. And for me, being in the radio and then being on the outside and seeing your impact and all the youth that you bring, it was a gang. And it wasn't like Rudy's Filipino, but that's like, he's not, yes, he's all about our Filipinos, but his reach, his network, and then his loyalty is to the people itself. So it wasn't just Filipinos, but he always made it be known that he was Filipino, and that's what that's who he is, and that he's proud of that. But he was always about the people, always. And then like I just, like I said, I just watched from afar, and I was like, look at this dude get down, like look how this dude get down, and that was like 01 to like when I leave, I left the station in 2010, and then seeing all the transition and finding out that in 2015, what happened? I was like, damn, for real? And then just seeing you grow, because we're talking about pre-social media, folks. Like you really had to put in streets, put in work on the streets. You had to be outside. You had to be walking. You had to be talking to people. You had to be in this meeting. There was no Zoom. You had to literally put the footwork in. I got a quick story. Shout out to Lay, Nina Parks. She talks about how she some kid stole her phone, and she was over off of 9th.
2002.
2002.
Somebody sent me that yesterday.
Sheesh. Wow. She talked about how some kid stole her phone, and this is probably like 07, 08, I think. I don't want to fuck up her day. She said some kid stole her phone, and she didn't like how the cops were handling the kid, so she called you. And then this is before like you really knew who she was. But when she met you at the courthouse the day it was happening with that kid, she goes, "You were like, oh, it's you. You didn't trip." Like, and her big thing about that was he just shows up for people, and that's what he does. He doesn't even have to know who you are. You just show up for people, and that's always what you've been about. My son's teacher reached out to me a couple months back and was looking to do something fun for the kids and didn't have the funds. And the person I text was Rudy. I don't like asking people for anything, but I wanted to see if he knew if he could finagle, or if he knew like a grant or a program for the kids. I hit Rudy and I text him, right? So I text him and he called me back within like 5-10 minutes. He was like, "What's up, Gus?" He goes, "What's going on?" I was like, "My school's teacher is trying to do something for the kids." He goes, "How much they need?" I told you the dollar amount. And then you said, "I'm going to give you that, but I'm also going to give you this. I want you to buy everyone lunch." And I was like, fuck. Like, I told him, I go, "I'm about to cry." He goes, "Go on and cry then." Go on and cry then. You know what I mean? And then when I had that check, I didn't give it to the school right away because I wanted to be sure it was allocated properly. And then the plans fell through and it didn't do what they were supposed to do, and I held on to it. And then when they figured out, I hit Rudy. I was like, "Hey, so that plan changed to this plan, and I just want to let you know what's going to happen with your money because I haven't cashed it yet. I don't want your account to get fucked up." He goes, "Gus, as long as you're taking care of the people, that's all I ask for. Just do God's work." And I was like, dang, this guy, and it wasn't a small amount. I'm going to let y'all know that. And he did it. It's not even in his district. Like, you know what I mean? It's a school in Daly City, and to show his footprint to how he loves is so strong. I wear, whenever I'm going somewhere and I want to feel extra safe, I wear the UP sweater.
Yes, sir.
Purposely. I remember one time I went somewhere and I went to Costco, and then some lady stopped me. She goes, "Michaela's gonna graduate." And I was like, "Oh shit, shout out to Michaela." And I walked away. My wife was like, "Who's that?" I was like, "I don't know." But she seen the sweater and she's like, "Michaela's gonna graduate." And then she was so excited to tell me that. But I couldn't bust her bubble and be like, I didn't know. But the power behind you and UP, like it goes from San Francisco, Stockton.
We have reaches in Stockton.
Yeah, you have outreach in Stockton.
Yeah, we do a lot of work out
Bronx.
there. South Bronx.
South Bronx. Shout out to Uncle Harold.
Yeah. That's right. Chef Harold.
Philippines.
We got chapters.
The pastor there was on death row? No. Or he was convicted.
He's Filipino too.
Filipino dude.
His name is Julius Dumate. He was convicted of murder. He was the youngest guy on record, a Filipino dude who murdered somebody, and they charged him as an adult. He was 16. Right? His name is Julius Dumate. Shouts out to Julius. His brother Cesar Dumate, his whole family. All those guys, those are my partners. They're ex-BNGs. They're BNGs. They're not ex, they BNGs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And these are my partners. I know them all. I met Rico, I met German, and I met Julius, all in San Quentin prison. Right? These dudes were all from the Soma. You know, they was Excelsior guy, but everybody would hang in the Soma. And these are Filipinos that put the rep down for a lot of us Filipinos that would not get jumped or beat up because they was the ones who set the trend. And they put the smack down. And so he went to prison for murder at the age of 16. The youngest ever tried in California is a Filipino dude. And so 35 years later, he was able to get out of prison. And when he got out, they deported him. Right? And when he went out there, he became a pastor behind the walls. He was thugging for a while, but then God got to him.
Amen.
You know, Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior, bro, and got to him, and he changed his life. He was a beast. He only like 5'4". You know what I mean? But dude was, man, serious. He was a beast. And so when he went to the Philippines, he was still a pastor, and he took on United Playaz and started saving people's lives, their spirits and their soul. He would dump them in the ocean with the UP shirt on.
You also got reach in Africa.
Yeah, and so I was blessed to go to Africa last year. You know, thanks to my homegirl Kamara and her husband, right, Mwangi. They have a program too that brings kids to Africa. They asked me, and this is how it happened. I swear to God, me and Kamara had a meeting. I don't even know why she wanted to meet. It was like a month in advance. So she came. I'm there. She came. I'm like, hey, what's up? And I forgot what the hell we was meeting about. She was just at my center. And her husband's sitting there. Homeboy's dressed in some shorts, I believe, regular shirt. And he just sitting there. And I'm like, I'm sorry, man. I don't even know what you about. She said, well, we're trying to find space to run our youth program. Because everywhere we go, nobody would give us space. I said, oh, well, shit, why don't you use my space? She said, how much you going to charge me? I said, I ain't going to charge you nothing. It's for the kids. She said, yeah. She said, for real? I said, yeah. What days and time? Just clean up after you done. So the dude who was sitting there, homeboy used to work for the president or somebody from Africa. That dude sitting there. I didn't know that though. And he said, you ever been to Africa? I was like, no. He said, you want to go? I think he would. I said, yeah, I want to go. I said, I ain't got a passport. I can get you one.
I'll get you one.
Yeah, I was like, you give me a passport? Yeah, I get it for you in a week. I was like, for real? But I'm thinking he's bullshitting. But homeboy was connected to important people in Africa. So within 2 weeks, he got me a passport, bro. And they flew me with some of the kids from San Francisco to Africa. And I'm in Africa, thugging it, kicking it. You know what I mean? Having a good time. You know me, I'm just being me.
Yeah.
You know, and they're all like, you the Mazunga. And I'm like, the hell, who's Mazunga? The white man. I said, I'm not white, I'm brown.
I'm brown.
Everybody there is black. They said, no, you Jackie Chan.
Damn.
I'm like, no, Pacquiao. Oh, yeah, Pacquiao.
Oh, yeah.
And so, you know, I kicked it with the people. I actually went into the Serengeti. I went into Kenya. You know, I was in Nairobi, the capital, and got the beauty of the country. I went to the gutter. I went to the real trenches where people is really, really just trying to get by. You know what I mean? And I was able to meet a lot of good people and build relationships. And I was able to hook people up to schools. I went out there and gave them computers. The principal of the school didn't even have a computer. I said, you need a computer? He said, yeah. I said, how many you need? He said, for the schools. And there's over 100 kids in one class in the small classes. And so, you know, I was able to hang out and kick it with the kids. And I felt humbled again. Like, damn, we got so much out here in America. Oh, it ain't got nothing.
It's not that bad.
Yeah, man. They just really have their pens and pencils. Like, they keep them and are serious about them. You know what I mean? Over in San Francisco, where we have, man, there's pencils everywhere, pens laying out.
Right.
You know, but just the little things that we take for granted, man, they really need. And so I was able to work with my sister Kamara, right, and her husband Mwangi to get computers for them to give to the people. And just little stuff, you know what I mean? They just wanted, you know, things for the girls on their monthly period. Was it like Kotex?
Yeah, Maxi Pads and stuff.
That's what they needed.
Just basic necessities.
Yeah, basic shit for the people out there. And so I was very humble, man. And I was able to get out there and show the love to the people, the United Playaz, and they love it, adopt it, they give them bands. And, you know, by the time I left, they said, you're not Mazonga, you're the black man. So you motherfucker right, I'm Filipino. You understand me? And so, you know, I made a lot of good relationships. Everything's built, like I said, on relationships.
Yeah.
And to this day, Kamara and her husband, Mwangi, now they meet at my center with some of the kids from my program, and they're all planning to go to Africa, take the kids from my program. They met this last Saturday. So
Slow
they
and steady
educated them.
wins the race.
Yeah.
You've always championed the the lesser. Always. You know, and I'm very fortunate to have met you and watch you work.
I appreciate it, man. Yeah. God's plan, God's work, brother. He put me in your path also. You know what I mean? What you're doing, you're able to promote us. Look, it's our 30th anniversary.
Come on.
You're getting it raw and uncut.
Come on.
You dig what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You guys are really getting this. You know what I mean? And I'm honored to be here to serve you guys. And I was looking forward to it. You know what I mean? Because I remember we was like, yeah, this date, this, and we found the right date. And it so happened to fall in the month, which is a couple of days right before our 3rd anniversary.
Look at the work.
That's why I was supposed to be with my Filipino brothers.
Look at the work.
What a better place, Danny City. Yeah. Shouts out to everybody in D.C. You know, but I know you were saying, and I just wanted to make sure for the record, you see me like on 6, whatever. But it's not where you're from, it's where you at. I'm with everybody.
Yes.
I don't want to claim no set or no hood.
No, yeah.
Because people get in misconstrued. Oh, he from 6th Street. No, I'm with the people.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
You were outside.
That's where I'm at.
Yeah.
I'm always out there.
Yeah.
I'm on any block or anywhere where the people is needed. And most of the hoods now where people are at is behind them walls. Juvenile hall. A lot of young youth in there, man, who are misguided. They're not lost. They're just misguided.
Yeah.
You got a lot of young people from the TAY age, transitional age youth, who are 18 to 25, who are all killing people now because they got the understanding of what life is. And we have to be there to coach them and guide them and give them, man, the right directions, how to get out that roadmap of life.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
That's right.
And I'm just very fortunate I got a team now. I got 20 staff. And a lot of my staff are the ones who came back from hell and back and are able to take the guys who was once them when they was kids because they took them to prison at a young age when they was 16 years old. You know what I mean? 17 years old, and took them and kidnapped them and left them in prison on level 4s for 25, 35, 45 years. Now they're back and they're older. You know what I mean? Yeah. But don't even know how to work the phones. Still trying to just get an ID. Still learning how to even have a relationship with a woman. You dig what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so we're here, man, to put them in that proper position where they can get fed the right type of food. You know what I mean? And I'm not talking about food in your mouth. I'm talking about spiritual food through God. Because that's what this has always been about, though, bro.
The healing.
The healing. The love. This is what it's always been from day one when we met in a room with all them kids. We turned something that was ugly and negative to something positive, and that was the light. It was just God. That was God. That's what he does. He uses, man, people who have been there and done that, who didn't walk the hot rocks of Baghdad barefooted, who been through the gridiron. You look at the Bible, that's what it talks about. All these people. Paul used to be Saul. He was a straight killer. And God blinded his ass and told him, man, you think you bad? Watch what I do to you. And shut him down. 7 days he was blind. He didn't know which way was coming. And then God said, man, I'll make you unblind if you know that I'm the man. I'm the mixed master blaster. He said, God, I believe in you now. Boom. Turned the hardest of the hardest to the realest of the realest and had him do his work. And so if you look at the people that God, Jesus Christ, walked with, that's who were. They was us. The people. And that's what we do, bro. We go around giving love wherever it's needed.
You give a lot of equity, too, to back to the people. Like, come on, man. Like, we'd even touch on, like how, the partnership you did with Steezy.
That's right.
Like, and that's you flipping the game and making sure that our people
brother.
benefit from that.
Yeah, man,
that's crazy.
The Gorilla Pino. That's all the kids. They weren't rocking UP, man. It's us. It's some real shit, man. I'm telling you, man, the shit was real.
You built real equity for the people. Like
I'm in the trenches with the people. That's where I be at.
Yeah.
Just like Pac would be, where the people was at who needed it the most. You know what I mean?
That's real.
They knew Tupac too.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I think I had a Pac shirt. Dude was like, I like that shirt. I was like, you like it? Huh? I took off my shirt, gave it to him.
Damn.
And then he gave me this shirt. That's why I'm wearing this green shirt. And I don't.
So long sleeve probably too.
The dude, he put it on. He started running around. He was like, everybody, I got a Tupac. But it felt good to give.
Yeah.
It was the right thing to do.
Mm-hmm. With your like real estate and expansion and like growing the, I don't want to say building the brand of what UP is, right? You guys ventured also into the marijuana space.
That's right.
And
I did.
Yes, you did. And it was very, it was done very much with intent, because if someone that looks like you didn't do that, it'd be someone else that didn't look like you, who has the funds to get in.
That's what they doing.
Yep.
That's what they do. So like you said from the gate, I'm a natural born hustler.
Yep.
Right? And E40 said it the best. You got to learn how to diversify your portfolio. And so before the late Mayor Ed Lee passed away,
Rest in peace.
there was something that was hitting San Francisco, right, with these dispensaries, where these rich folks would parachute in, buy the buildings, and would turn them into dispensaries, but they was not allocating any of the funds to the community. So he put something in place, a moratorium that would stop them and bring equity to programs. So if you bought a store now, you had to get somebody who qualified the equity program that was originally from San Francisco, that grew up in a neighborhood with drugs, that was affected by the war on drugs, right? Went to school in San Francisco and made a certain, I've qualified all of them. And I was really affected by the war on drugs. I really was. You know what I mean? And so it just so happened, Stizzy, who the big brand in LA, right, surpassing Cookies now, wanted to open a store in the South of Market in Brandon. And so the district supervisor told him, if you want to do that, you got to meet with this brother named Rudy. Because you can't open a store here because of the equity law that was put out, right? So I met with them and I told them, look here, if we're going to sit down, proceeds of the store from this weed store, right, has to go to the people to help families bury their families, to help pay people's rent, to help families if they can't pay their phone bill, to help buy groceries, just the basic fundamental things that people need to get by. And they was willing to do it. Otherwise, I'll shut their shit down.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so I got with a lawyer, I got my people, and one, people would say, what's the correlation between weed and kids? Rudy, you tripping. You know, I got the hate. I said, look, before all this happened, man, our people was the ones who used to have this medicine. It was used in a way where people would heal, right? The Native Americans, like I said earlier, before they get down, they smoke the peace pipe. And then you'll figure out, man, and think, as long as you don't abuse it. And so I was into healing. Nina Parks was into healing. I started getting educated on this stuff. And I found out it was medicine for our people. It helps all kind of different, ills that we have. Yeah. And so I was willing to go ahead, and once I took that first step, everybody who was talking shit, they all jumped on board after.
Yeah.
Somebody had to take the leap, bro.
You were the sacrificial lamb for that.
Right.
Yeah.
I went up because, people's like, how you going to do that shit? You working with kids, bro. Kids smoking weed. I'm like, look, I'm not giving weed to kids, bro. You understand what I'm saying? I'm going to make sure, man, that this is the medicine that we get are going to the right people. And it was given to the right people. Look at the weed on the streets now. You smoke this shit now, that shit got fentanyl in it.
Take the hood to heal the hood.
Come on, man. It takes the healer to save the healing. So we came out with that motto. We came out with a brand. Heal people, right? Hurt people, but heal people. The healer needs healing. That was my blunt. Healers need healing. You smoke that motherfucker, you feel healed.
Come on.
I had a little bit of Jackie White and some German Yan Bow rolled up in that.
Yeah.
My peoples who died. You know what I mean? Who sacrificed their life to the game. And so it was one of the best blunts on the shelf that was hitting, and all the proceeds went to the people. See, there's a lot of people in San Francisco who's been at war from different hoods and different turfs.
Yeah.
When their kids die or their families die,
Yeah.
they don't have enough money to bury them.
No.
They really don't. They do the GoFundMe because nobody's thinking about getting the policies, because they don't expect nobody to die. But under the radar, we help bury them families through that money. There's people, man, who can't pay their rent. I pay for that.
Full circle.
Man,
You
straight
do-
up.
You like, and people forget it's a non-profit, y'all.
Yeah.
This is a non-profit. Rudy's doing this non-profit.
Hey, man, I ain't even got a car.
Non-profit.
I've been doing 30 years. I ain't even got my own whip. All my staff got some nice cars, though. You know what I mean? I still live in the hood. You know what I mean? I'm renting. I don't even own. You think I don't want to own a house?
I feel like all those pictures I seen of you downtown on the street lights, you would be
People
owning.
would think the properties and the land that I got, that I must got something. I really don't got it.
It's
The
it's
people
all under
got it.
UP.
It's for the people.
Exactly.
One dude told me, man, a good friend of mine, he went to a Native American dude who runs it, the chief. And he walked into his house and he said, damn, this dude ain't got nothing in his house. He said, hey, chief, why you ain't got nothing? You the chief. You the shot caller. The chief said, I gave it all to the people. That's how I feel, man. I can't hold on to things. I know what it feels like to touch $1 million. When I was in the dope game, I had that. But it never made me happy. People was around me for the wrong reasons. They was only with me because I had money or because I had jewelry or because I had dope. Because when I got busted and the police raided me and they took all that shit, nobody was there.
No.
But except the one handful of people who told me not to do it. You know what I mean? And so I know what it feels like to have something. And I know what it feels like not to have nothing because I became one of my own best customers in the game. And when I was going off that, people, man, threw me away. So I know what it feels like to have money, and I know what it feels like, man, to be standing under the mat. And now I'm able to get to the point now where God has put me in a place where I can unite the right people to give to the people. And that's what I'm doing.
You in full service, bro.
That's all God, man.
Amen.
I
And
mean,
just as we're wrapping up, I want to shoot it over to JD Fresh.
So, bro, just want to say, bro, it was an honor. And I think a lot of people like to overuse the term the realest one or a real one, but, bro, you are the realest of the real ones, brother. I mean, like, you make it all make sense. And things happen for a reason. And there's only one way up, and that's up.
that's real talk.
Yeah.
Hallelujah. I appreciate that, King. I appreciate that. You know what I mean? I really do. Thank you guys for your kind words.
I don't use the term OG lightly because there's a lot behind that. People use that now as just an older person.
Yeah,
Right?
out of gas. OG, out of gas.
Yeah. And people forget people forget the real context. And when I see you and how you move with intent and how you were in service, like I really recall when Colin Kaepernick was doing that match funding, and then Steph Curry called out an organization and it was yours. So Steph Curry and Colin Kaepernick and Jaylen Brown
Followed up.
followed up,
Yes, he did.
and they all donated to UP, and it all went to the people.
100.
All went to the people, and I see that, and it's like those are like real time, like those are memories I will never forget. Like I wasn't involved, but then just to see you and knowing what you did and how you got down, it just warmed my heart, dog. And you're always someone that I always want to stay in touch with, and just to check in and just to always be around, because your energy and what you do for the people is infectious, and your staff, and you've built a legacy that's bigger than anyone could imagine.
Amen.
And it's all under God's glory.
Hallelujah. I'm gonna tell you like this though, Gus, right? God is good, bro. This is all God's work, and this is his plan. And there's time after time God keeps putting people in my place who I would never imagine who I would meet. It's a trip. but I just keep it accepting it. And I just, give him the honor and the glory all the time, to be honest. Because I know what it feels like, man, you know what I mean, to work for somebody who's hurtful, who's hateful, and kills and steals and destroys. And that was the devil. I used to be on his team. And at that time, I was so gone in my mind, full of hate and anger and hurt, that what I thought I was doing was the right thing. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so I was woke. God woke me up. And I'm so thankful now that I'm able to be on God's side and really, man, give and do what I can. Because if you think about it, the greatest man who ever walked this earth, and you give me flowers, I want to give him flowers, is Jesus Christ. Right? He sacrificed his life for everybody, not only my enemies, your enemies, and everybody. And he died on that cross. And when he was up there, after they tortured him, they spit on him, they stabbed him, they called him names, and they used and abused him. And he was up there, and they stabbed him one more time, and he just looked and said, God, why me? Then he said, some of his last words was, please forgive them, because they don't know what they're doing. A lot of us don't know, man. We're so bombarded by, man, all the worldly things in this life.
Blinded.
They blinded. And that's how I was. That's why I'm not really be trizipping, man, off the materialistic things in this world. I know what it feels like. It never made me happy. I feel good now being one of God's servants, because Jesus, all he did was give, love. That's all he did. And they hated him, and they crucified him. And if that's what I get for being somebody, man, and being God's servant, then so be it. Because I want to be with him one day. We're temporary here on this earth. We're all guaranteed in life to die.
That's right.
This death. Without death, life has no meaning. I want to make sure when I'm gone, right? Because life is like a mist out of a tea kettle. Whew, that quick. By the time you know, damn, such and such died. He died. He was just here. When I go, I want to be there, man. I want to be in the boom room. I want to be up in heaven at Thug Mansion, or kicking it with all my people, my moms, my pops, my folks who passed on. And I want God to say, hey, man, good job for me. You did a good job, Rudy.
Rudy, you did a great job, sir.
Man, thank you, brother.
For real.
This is Rudy Corpuz Jr.
Hey, Kobe, you hear that?
Free 99 podcast. It's always love, y'all. Peace.
All right, y'all.
For life. That was fast.
Yeah.
That was hour 19.
For real?
Yeah.